Good morning, everyone. Oh, hopefully you didn't fall asleep yesterday. Well, there was things moving. Just talking about the market. Look at that little tiny little range day. Prices tried to move up. Look at the 60-minute chart. Just a little tiniest little range there. And tried to go up, tried like hell, throughout the day where it just went sideways. And yeah, I mean, some of us in the green room, obviously, what the Russell looked like it was going to go up. We were long and got stopped, and I couldn't help myself. A little revenge trade there. I said this thing's going down and hit the bid, and anyway, covered that loss. But anyway, yeah, it was just one of those days where we say, it went down because it didn't go up. Now it hadn't reached support yet. The S&Ps hadn't reached this minus support. It gapped up, got close to that gap fill, and then everybody, I assume, is just waiting for this economic data and the next, injection to buy again. We shall see. Um, Things were up. You can see they were up earlier. Probably Europe's up or something. I don't know. I didn't look, but coming back down again on top of yesterday's high. Uh, just looking where the cursor is. It was up at this pivot high there on the hourly there, and the prior day's high. So far holding. We'll see what it does. Rising 20, rising 50, as we say, railroad track 2050. It's a long way from the 200 to prices. I'd have to look historically what that number might be, as far as there are numbers historically as to percentages from a moving average where corrections have start. And of course, those are only guidelines. Different markets do special things. We do look at what's typical, but I don't think this is so typical. I heard some guy on the TV before talking. They try to figure out why is this market going up. I think it's a bit of a mystery to everyone. That's about 13% difference there. And I guess from the 50, that's not bad. 3-4%. Um, take a look at the Qs. I think let's see here. I mean, that doesn't look far either. It's just, again, this plotting, self-correcting type of uptrend. And you see the whippy price action there. So when it goes sideways like that, and this is, up, but came all the way back down again and then back up again, just a whippy, erratic uptrend that displays, well, I'm very uncertain. I think the market will keep going up. I'm like nervous as hell as to what might happen, but I'm going to buy the dip. And then, it held the dip. Hurry up and get in before you miss out. And then it's back to the same old of chopping around versus this kind of price action where it's like, yep, buy. So we continue to be in this whippy type of mode, waiting to see, I guess, what happens on Thursday and Friday. And um, I didn't hear. I don't know if anyone was listening to CNBC. You know, not always hear something interesting, right? That might not be part of what I'm thinking, right? So, and I didn't hear what he said in the end, but he said, I guess I did partly. He was exciting something about the Fed. Everybody's on the Fed, right? And it's like nauseating already. And he said the window is closing as to the Fed being able to cut interest rates with a legitimate reason, right? Other than it being so obvious that it's political. I thought that was interesting. I didn't think of that. I just thought, based on the things that we've been talking about here over the last couple of weeks, that the only reason they could cut interest rates would be political, and they'll just massage the data, through their talking points as to why they're doing it. They're never going to say it's political, but so we shall see, I guess, by the end of the week. Good morning, George. Good morning, everyone there in YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all that. So nothing much happening here, just drifting toward support where buyers should step up. A little gap up here. I suspect, I think there's some numbers coming out at 10 o'clock. I'm not sure that they're market movers, but some consumer confidence numbers at 10 o'clock. Fed manufacturing index, Dallas Fed index at 10:30. So you never know. There's something coming out. Well, it just came out at 9 o'clock. House price index month over month dropped by 0.1%. Anyway, maybe that's why the market came in here a little bit. Oh no, that was earlier. Anyway, all right. So SPY coming in a little bit. Top of yesterday's bar. SPX never got near any of the strikes because the market barely moved. So today I've got 51.90 and 52.55, and 52.55 is $1 by $1.15, which we usually don't get that much. The idea, what we look at is to just go wider in strikes, but it's relatively close. Could it get up there? Of course. Could it get down here today? Yes, of course. So, and it's been this way where it's like they're relatively close because things, except this day when it gapped up, I forget what the number was, but relatively close, not no-brainers, but they don't even get there because the market just not moving. I mean, it's just a lot of this overlapping bars. There's lots of little bars here of going nowhere. So, pick your spot during the day. It hasn't been as easy, where things are moving rapidly like that, especially in an uptrend, not such a self-correcting uptrend, but they've been bidding up those call strikes like crazy, and the premiums get jacked far away, and we call no-brainers. It just, what's the probability of getting there in that day today? Look at it, relatively low. All right, Dow was relatively weak yesterday, but still a small bar, coming down to minor support. We don't see data here, but we'll look at the futures. Interest rates up a little bit. Again, looking to the left, right? Saw the unfilled gap. We talked about, hey, buyers should step up here. I didn't think they'd step up so aggressively, but they did, and the markets held up. I think, like, okay. A year ago, the markets would have fallen sharply on a move like that in interest rates. And now they're like, we really don't care so much about it as they did. Pull back these converging moving averages. They're up here. Markets are up, coming off of the highs pre-market. But I mean, that's a pattern. It's not a great one, but the depth of that retracement back up to resistance, I mean, forgetting that it's interest rates and the implications of, everything that's going on around the world and economic data and all that, this is a buyable pattern. A pullback. There's no real significant support here, which you can see. There's a little minor thing right there, but it held. But the converging moving averages, it's an index where these moving averages tend to be self-fulfilling prophecies. And look at it, bought the dip on the way up. And mentioned yesterday, what is going on with the dollar? Maybe the dollar is communicating and just a thought, is communicating that the Fed isn't going to be able to cut interest rates. Not now. Because if they really were, and the markets believe that, the dollar would come down. I don't know, but it's a thought, and we'll see. I mean, you see, yesterday it cleared these highs, and just looking at currencies, I mean, this is just a mess. It looked like, this is the Euro futures. It looked like it was going to skyrocket up, and the dollar would, of course, would go down, and it came right back in again. Uh, Japan, they lowered what to zero from negative. That's sitting on support. And the pound, look at that. I mean, I think things are a little crazy. Well, I think that might be communicating that they're gonna get crazy. Just right now, when you see so much erratic price movement, it just tells you that there's uncertainty. Bitcoin had a good day, held on that major support there, the pivot low. Right, so I think it'll probably rest here a little bit, but we'll see as it keeps moving. Gold is still, you know, holding up here like it's going to go higher. Copper, pulling back. So makes me take a look at if copper is going to make a turn here. That's still showing relative strength. I thought maybe we'd find that this had pulled back. There's a buy setup, but I'll see if there's anything else there. Uh, copper miners holding up. So where's it down a little bit here? Top of the range. You always got to look to the left. As good as something might look on a smaller time frame where you can't, unless you condense the chart, I go and look at a longer term chart where there's more data, and that's up against a significant major support area. So that'll be interesting whether this can take out those highs or not. I just throw an alert there. I'm just looking at some other metals now that I'm doing the steel. Maybe it's going to play a little catch up. It's kind of a rounding bottom there at a rising 20 on the weekly chart, like that's going to go up. Commodity going up. We looked at this last week. Look at that. I mean, this is more suggestive that the Fed's not going to be able to, but the markets really aren't looking at this, or they're looking at it and say, we're not worried about it. They're going to have to cut it. What else? How else are they going to try and put the guy back in the White House if that could do it? I don't think so. All right. Qs starting to move lower, up at the top of yesterday's range, trading inside of bars there. Nothing going on. Interesting. Yesterday, I mentioned, yesterday that on Friday, things came in a little bit, but why did financials, have such an aggressive move down still, because they're so strong, but they're coming down to minor support, and they're up a little bit. No big deal there. Regional banks up a little bit, just a mess. Energy stocks, maybe getting a little tired, I think, when you see a bar like that where a little resting and it forms a topping tail on the move up, and you look to the left and you just see the reason why. Right? It's pretty clear as day that it should stall there. Strong trend. And this has been doing well. So slowing momentum. Remember how we use slowing momentum without indicators, right? Strong momentum, and there's the pullback. And then the turn after taking out that high, marginally taking out the high, where this took out the high with authority, with power. This barely took out the high and started coming in again. So it's losing momentum. That's how you read that without indicators. Tech trading range doing nothing, was up, coming back in again in the range. We need to see semiconductors take out this high. Right. So some of these semiconductors, like for example, yesterday, intraday chart. If I scroll back here, this was forming like it was going to start moving back up. And that was one of the bad signs yesterday. I mean, it's still at support, so it still could turn, but it just buyers just said no, it ain't happening today. Right? They just threw in the towel. IWM. They weren't great setups, but they were enough for scalper type trades. Which here, I mean, it was a little messy, but retest and this consolidation, if you open this up based on some of the things that Dan and I talk about in MT Live, which is tomorrow, bar by bar analysis, bottoming tail bar comes right back up again, bottoming tail bar, red bar, it's going to go down 180 back up again. Look, it's clearing the highs. And then this back and forth was like, what the hell? And then the theme, not theme, but what I had on the slide this morning, things went down because they didn't go up. And it was like, okay, this is traders along looking for a move up, and everybody hits the bid. Down it went. I was typing TSM, which looked good. One of the semiconductors, Taiwan, it's going down. All right, I was thinking this would go up here today, but yeah, so maybe we're just going to have another running in place day waiting for the news. We looked at Bitcoin, Ethereum setting up here. That's moving up. So maybe this is one of the plays today. Bitcoin stay strong. Are these pre-market meetings every day here on YouTube? Absolutely, George. Every day, Dan and I are here Monday through Friday. We won't be here this Friday because it's a holiday at 9 a.m. YouTube on Wednesdays at 12 o'clock. We do MT Live. So tremendous amount of education. All you have to do is show up and listen. You'll love it. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. All right, well, a couple earnings here, but let me go through gappers. Alarms first. Alex, BBAI alarm went off. We're watching the turn here, so that's a watch. I had Square alarm going off. I've been watching this for a while. I just love this monthly bottoming pattern. So maybe today's the day to start nibbling. Marvel alarm went off. So I posted that 30-minute high. Don't want to rush into it. Old Edwards McGee, Sam I am, up alarm went off here, so we can tighten the stop. That was a nice buy setup. NOTV alarm, we're just in trail mode, up alarm went off. Myrna, up alarm, beautiful. I love this pattern. Buy setup and a new low. Another tail right there. So we have a bull call debit spread. I move stop 30-minute low to protect gains. All right, those are alarms. Let's look at earnings. Not many. SNX was good. Things all over the place. What a mess. MOV, ugly mess. MKC, bullish gap, but excessive. And I have too much stuff to watch already. I'm not going to sit there and watch that for a pullback. ABOS, I don't see any gap. But if it trades over these tails, it looks higher. It shows a plus 32 cents, but I don't see any prints. And these are just news items. A donut Donut getting a big old gap. They're gonna start being sold in McDonald's. UPS had a pre-earnings release, 158. Nothing related, nothing to there. BAC said they were gonna do a secondary offering. That totally shocked me. Why is a big investment, a big one of the top five banks needing capital? Somebody has to explain this one to me. I guess I don't get it. Yapping up a little bit though with no pattern. I don't have an answer. I don't know. It's very strange to me. I don't know. Well, yeah, let's talk about it later. I just was shocked. Like, why is this bank needing a secondary offering? All right, yeah, Trump here. They've been talking about his company, Trump Media, being merged into this, and he's going to get a bunch of money. So he's a very happy boy today on two fronts. Got his bond reduced, and then I read he's going to get $3 billion on this. That's good job. All right, I like this pattern. Big old earnings gap, buy setup, secondary buy setup, and then it was gapping up again. So I posted 5-minute high. We would sell it out of the money put spread, but the deeper it retraces, then I want to wait longer to get in. But that's on my list. Ollie North. Sam found this. This is what's called a bear sandwich continuation. Bullish daily, weekly, monthly. Look at the monthly has room. Monthly has room to go to $90. Navi bottoming pattern. Let me set an alarm at 17:20. Amgen, Greg posted a video last night. This is a beautiful bottoming pattern at the 200 daily, weekly. So we'll look to do, I have it here in the bottom right. We'll look to do a bull call debit spread for next week. Ether, we entered yesterday. Nice retest, retest of a buy setup. Block, we've been in for a while. Closing breakout from, weird kind of ascending triangle, like this I would call it, with a little breakdown failure. But still marching higher. We're in this. Our ETF trader is longer holding periods, so we sit through pullbacks. WDC, yeah, I had ST. Oh, that was my next one here, John. STX. Look, bullish gap over a red bar. Yeah. So I have Dell in the other computer. Let me put STX here. So I don't know what the news is. It's not earnings. So WDC obviously is the cousin, and this one's stronger. And it's actually a perfect gap. So yeah, I like that a lot. In fact, I like that better. Well, I like them both. They're different patterns, but for different reasons. All right, let me put that in a window. I got Amgen and another chart. So let me put WDC there. Yeah, looks great. Check. Sloppy pattern, but I saw a big old pro gap, but it's too big. Marvel, we talked about. Starbucks, I'm watching for a short. Daily, weekly, monthly are all bearish. And it's doing exactly what I want, which is just consolidating in a bearish manner. So it's gapping up a little bit here. So this is perfect. Let me set a new alarm at 90 spot 60. And I had one at 90 spot 50 already, so I'll just change it. No biggie. All right, TSM. Okay, that was Aichi. I set an alarm at 142. It's kind of an inverse head and shoulder, right? Left shoulder, right shoulder, head, void. So yeah, looks good. All right, now let's go to other watch list items. Tandem. It's a sloppy buy setup. We'll come back to you. ZWS, I'm watching for a buy setup. Broke out daily, weekly, monthly. Looks good. I just need a reversal. GME had a rocking day yesterday for some reason. Look at the volume. That's igniting bar, igniting a volume. I mean, they're unrelated, but I always like looking at AMC with it because they used, the two of those were Reddit boy toys. There's our BBAI. Let's watch 30-minute high. JetBlue had a nice explosion into the close. This is a 30-minute high trade. RXST. It's a sell setup, but I don't like sell setups that go up with all these overlapping bars like that. But set an alarm. Yesterday's low. Oscar, I like better. Breakdown under those two under the week's low. CHW, I'm watching for a pullback, breakout daily, weekly, monthly. BNS, broke out, bullish price action. Let's set an alarm at 50 spot 60. And look, I already had one at 62. ANF. It would be day trade only, John. Just because it moves so much, so you're getting on board a moving train. But look at the weekly and look at the weekly and monthly also. What pattern is this, you all, on the weekly? I'll give you a hint. We're going to be talking about this pattern tomorrow on MT Live. This is a perfect example. We got a Climo on the monthly, and we have an M-top retest on the weekly. And then we have a daily igniting bar. So this is a beautiful medium-term high. This thing is reversed on all time frames. Now, people who, if you, I mean, this would be a core long. I would have been out yesterday. So yeah, that surely looks lower. Just gotta work, find your entry and your stop. Interactive broker. Yeah, that's a bullish time consolidation. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, daily, weekly, monthly are bullish. Our WGC bottom right. See, that looked great, John. Good find there. I'm not chasing it, but STX moved too much. All right, Amgen. Let's wait for a pullback on Amgen. But the put spread is fine if you get filled. Pega, yeah, 30-minute high, maybe. Spot. Nice. I don't remember. Yeah, spot over those highs. I'm not in it. Roku alarm, but you're still such a freaking dog. I'm gonna set
Meta
up.
showing some strength today. Daily buy setup.
Who?
Meta.
Yeah, that's a buy setup. Sure. Yeah, we have it as a put spread, postage up alarm. We're already in it. Tick is flying here over 1,000. IWM the strongest.
AD lines over 1,300.
Yeah. All right, postage, new alarm. CCL, we have short puts, up alarm. Let me move stop here now. Green.
SMTC, maybe you want to do a put spread on that. It's only a $20 stock. I don't know if it's got premium. You could do directional too. And it's semiconductor. Pavel at PXD. I'm talking to somebody on Facebook there. It's in an uptrend. So shorting under that bar would have weakness, but traveling that far down looks a little thin. Trading intraday. But those kind of patterns, we typically look for like an M top, something where it goes sideways longer before shorting. Pattern like that, it's not unlikely to collapse because the trend is so strong. Anyway, join us in the green room, man. Ideas all day. You can
Yeah.
if you're not trading every day, or you're looking for ideas, but at least the education throughout the day, you can ask questions. So consider it. Some of you, a lot of people show up there on social media every day. And scroll down, $7 for start with a trial and
the market's flying. I gave 30-minute high. My ACN put spread is fine. I just did a one lot yesterday. ETI.